encompass the actual transfer of momentum through three various parts in the body. As we all know, when we take to the top of the golf swing, the lower body initiates the swing, drawing energy from the earth, and then transfers momentum to the thorax, and then the thorax transfers momentum to the arms, and then the arms finally transmit momentum to the club. Each one has a very unique feel, and I feel like these three exercises, even though they're isolating each part of the swing, if you do them more and more, you're going to become more and more aware of the totality of how sequencing works in a golf swing, and really learning how to stack these energy transfers to get the most out of your golf swing. So instead of starting from the ground up, I'm actually going to start from your hands and your arms, which is the way that a lot of the great teachers of the past actually taught golf, is they always taught it as a swinging of the hands and the arms and letting the body react. But we all know from science that actually the kinematic sequence starts from the ground up and works its way out to the golf club. So the first thing you need to learn how to do is you need to learn how to transfer momentum from your arm structure to the golf club. And this generally is the place where most golfers get stuck, and I think this is why the great teachers of the past always started with this, was that if they could free up these structures and started to get the relationship between the arms and the hands to start to work more properly, that the rest would develop easier. And I definitely would say that I would subscribe to that theory too, especially when teaching somebody how to play golf for the first time. But the exercise that I want to show you to understand that sequencing is you have to learn how to get the acceleration of the arms to create a lag of the golf club, and then the golf club to then pick up the energy of the arms as they decelerate. Okay, so in the final phase of the swing, the arms as they're coming through here are actually slowing down, and the golf club is speeding up as it's picking up energy. I love players to pick up their golf club and just simply do what I kind of call the Bobby Jones takeaway exercise, and they kind of drag the golf club back. And then as you change directions with your arms, you should be able to feel it lag. Now, I'm not using my wrist muscles to crank it back, but I'm keeping my hands very soft on the club and my wrist joints very free. So when I start to have some momentum going backwards, I can feel the club drag. And then as I change directions, it actually starts to naturally continue along its path. And then as I change directions, the tension and the stretch of the arms ultimately feeds into the club, and it creates a little lag, and then it catches back up. So it looks like this in slow motion, going back, lag, one more time, drag it, then it lags, and it comes back. And so that starts to get me the feeling of what it's like to transfer momentum through the hands and the arms. It's not an active muscular action. It's very, very passive, but very, very powerful. All right, now on to our next exercise. Going backwards up the chain, the next transfer of energy is a very, very quick one, but it's a very important one. It's the thorax to the arms. And this is another place where golfers really get stuck. They tend to carry a lot of contraction and kind of like tightness in their shoulders and kind of their lats and their chest muscles. And so they actually don't allow momentum to transfer from the rotation of the torso to the arms. Now the torso is way heavier than the arms, so it doesn't take very much energy for the torso to really get the arms to start to accelerate. But most of us carry so much tension up here that we actually move everything at the same time. And again, in physics, anytime you're moving rotating objects that are supposed to exchange energy at the same time, they actually can't do it. So the exercise and the feel involved is kind of two parts. I first love players just to stand up nice and tall like so, and just basically let your arms hang like ropes. As soon as you just make a little bit of rotation with your chest, your arms start to swing away from you. And so it's the movement of the torso starts to create this swinging of the arms. Now, our arms aren't separated in a golf swing, they're together, and they're in kind of a funny shape, but it's the same thing. When I change directions, I should be able to feel, just like I did in the first exercise, I should be able to feel this kind of joint here lag a little bit, okay? So when I change directions, I don't want my feel like I'm tense and pulling the club downwards or trying to make it go somewhere, but as I start to rotate forward, I can actually feel my arms slightly lay against my chest, and then they swing off freely, okay? So I don't want to hold them back, but certainly don't want to push them forward. I want to learn how to let them go. So in slow motion, it looks like this. As I start that little rotation at the top, you can see my arms just lag a little bit, okay? Now finally, the last segment is the pelvis to the thorax, or pelvis to rib cage. And this one is where, when people start thinking about golf swings and start learning how to trying to make their lower body do something, is where they really get stuck. And this one's a little trickier, but you simply are going to just cross your shoulder, so your arms against your shoulders like so, and then you're going to make a turn back. Now, when you make your turn back, you want to feel like a full turn. When you make your turn forward, you got to keep some energy in your legs. So if you feel like you're kind of wobbly or you're off balance, you're in trouble. You cannot transfer momentum from here to here if you're off balance. You'll always tend to go out of order. So once I get here, I want to feel strong, and then what I want to do is I want to feel like my left knee kind of pulls away just a little bit, and my right glute moves backwards from down the target line. Looks like this, like so, and that creates a stretch through the midsection. Okay. Once you feel that stretch through the midsection, then your upper body can release. So it goes lower stretch and then it releases. And of course, that starts to unwind the rest of the golf swing, as we've already described. So those are 3 different exercises you can do to get yourself the feelings of the different stretches and the sequences of the swing. And ultimately, as you have more awareness of each unique stretch and release that kind of happens in each statements of the golf swing, you're going to have a deeper and deeper understanding of the patience that it takes and the focus that it takes to start to sequence your swing for the better. So in review, we want to do the kind of Bobby Jones kind of lag transfer drill here. Then we want to go to learning how to swing the arms and feel how the arms lag as your chest starts to turn forward. And finally, want to work on the lower to the upper, the lower to the upper. So if you work on those 3 things, you're going to have a much better understanding of how the sequence of a golf swing unfolds and how to put it all together, and that's going to make you a lot better golfer.